go, ladies and gentlemen. Danni B back in the World Gym Arena. She was successful in an earlier debut earlier this year, and we are back with a special quarantine edition, if you will, a socially distanced atmosphere here at the Reality of Wrestling, and Danni B has a massive challenge in front of her. Wearing the OKC colors, the Thunder colors, and is she going to bring the storm to her opponent here this evening? And 2020 hasn't been a bright spot for most people, but it has for this young lady in her career. Rok-C continues her streak as the longest reigning Diamond Division champion in the history of this company, and this country for that matter. She walks into the World Gym Arena confident as only she can be. One would have to imagine that's what the C's starting to stand for in Rok-C, confidence, or maybe champion. The prodigy, all smiles, but when that bell rings, she turns all business. This would be the first meeting between these two ladies, and as always, Rok-C is a fighting champion, so that Diamond Division title is on the line, and what an opportunity for Danni B here early on in her career. That Diamond Division championship has launched the careers of people you may have heard. Cinema, our first Diamond Division champion. Going on to Kylie Ray, who went on to dominate at the top of many national promotions around this country. Oh, look at that. Alex Gracia, who just made her AEW debut recently. The list goes on and on. Ivory Robin. Many women who have won that Diamond Division championship have gone on to be something. And Rok-C well on her way. Hi, Yun, AQA. I could list the great Diamond Division champions here all evening long as Rok-C taking it to Danni B from OKC. Look at that. Submission attempt right there. Has that arm pinned back. Rok-C doing some great chain wrestling here against Danni B. Nightmare takeover. Rok-C. Look at Rok-C's face. So confident. So poised. And then Danni B grabbing the back of the hair, doing what she has to do. A head scissor and a big chop to the ribs. Rok-C shifting the weight here. What is she doing? Finds her way out of that. And again, the C stands for confidence. And a sportsman is Rok-C helping Danni B up. Oh, look at this. I think Rok-C is telling Danni B, try some of that stuff again. Referring to the hair pull that Danni B was doing. Rok-C cartwheels over. Danni B doesn't know where she went. Danni B turns around. Rok-C with the curtsy. Oh my goodness. Blocked there by Danni B. Rok-C rolls through. Oh! Knees to the face, going for a cover here. One. Only kick out after one. Rok-C. Right back on offense, though. Irish whip into the corner. Oh! Running European uppercut to Danni B from the champion. Going for second, looking for a big splash. Danni B back to the hair of Rok-C. Seems to be the only way she has been able to get into the driver's seat of this match. Oh, wait, hold on. After mocking Rok-C, cover two. Oh. 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 Danni B going for a triple-double on Rok-C, like perhaps the greatest Thunder player of all time, Russell Westbrook. Knee right into the back of the champion, Rok-C. Oh. These two women just going after it. Obviously, we talked about the lineage of that Reality Wrestling Diamonds Division Championship and what it means to Rok-C being the longest reigning champion. Well on her way to being the longest reigning champion in the history of the company, not just in the Diamonds Division. A win here tonight will keep her on that run. 1, 2. Oh, wow, look at that. Looks like Danni B was able to get it up at the very last second. Isaac Bouillon, even with a small hesitation in the 3 count, I think he sensed that shoulder was up maybe before it was. Nevertheless, Rok-C and Danni B continue on. Rok-C, cover 2. Oh my goodness. Danni B had a fistful of tights, and you see her eyes. She thought that championship was coming home to her as Rok-C went for the splash a second time to no avail. Oh! Danni B close again, but no cigar. I want to thank the nearly 400,000 subscribers on the Reality Wrestling YouTube channel. By the time many of you are seeing this, perhaps we have passed north of that number. Thank you all. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think of the action between two of the very best that we have. The brand new Danni B already making her presence felt, and the longest reigning Diamonds champion of all time, Rok-C. And the 19-year-old prodigy, Rok-C, is in a bad way, or she was until she was able to get out of that. But you see the pain on the face of Rok-C. Danni B catching a boot to the grill. Rok-C just firing up with all of those forearms. Oh, spinning back heel kick. Shades of Sean Waltman. Cover 1, 2. Rok-C looking for roll up here. Cover 1. Oh, 1, 2. Danni B trying to steal it. Another reversal. Another reversal. These two women just rolling around the ring at this point. Isaac Bouillon cannot even get a pin attempt for either one. 1, 2. Danni B another half second away from maybe being a champion here at Reality Wrestling in the first year of her career. Remember, Kylie Ray won the title the first night. Cover 1, 2. This is back and forth for Rok-C. Looking like she's in the driver's seat. Oh! Prodigy right there. The Prodigy. Cover 1, 2, 3. Here's your winner, and still that Diamonds Division champion, Rok-C. Danni B, much like the Oklahoma City Thunder, out of the first round of the playoffs. The question now is no longer when, but who? Who can take down Rok-C? Is there anybody who can stop the Prodigy?
Andrew Jackson here, now the official face of Reality of Wrestling and the new Reality of Wrestling heavyweight champion. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought this was my last match. The retirement was in. This was going to be my swan song. I was going to sail off on Able Force One into the sunset, but you said no. You did exactly what the Be Woke Vote initiative said. You voted. You showed your support. We stood together, and now we have championship gold. Now I know they're going to be the naysayers. They're going to want to rewatch the match over and over and over again. Was there any interference? Was that a 1, 2, 3? They're going to want to recount the ballots. They're going to want rematches, and that's okay. Ruthless Ryan, Davison Drip, told you to see a doctor about that. You can have a rematch anytime you want because the Abletarians, the Road Nation, we got the gold. We voted early, we voted often, and we voted able.
Again, we've gone over this. You can only vote once.
We voted often.
Well, here comes Nathan Bradley. And although his surname matches my first, I am not feeling confident about my Bradley brethren here this evening. Although this man is extremely talented, he has a bad attitude, and he is not happy to be here tonight, and I can understand why when you see this man's opponent. Nevertheless, we've seen Nathan Bradley before, and he is very skilled inside that squared circle, so you can never count him out, but Vegas has him as a heavy, heavy underdog in this match.
This stone don't crumble. Yeah.
And that is the reason why. 6'5",
Take your best shot.
285 plus. He looks like he has been carved out of granite, or maybe he's just been edged out of stone. He is the reality of wrestling television champion of the world. He is Edge Stone. We saw Edge Stone capture that reality of wrestling television championship from the mysterious Q at Swing Vote. A couple of weeks ago, our special drive-in edition of the reality of wrestling, Booker T and I sat there and we called the action and saw this man win, and now Nathan Bradley trying to get the upper hand. Oh! Nathan Bradley fighting Edge Stone here in the early goings. And look at that. Look at that from Edge Stone. I'm really glad I'm not that Bradley in the ring, as he was just launched like a javelin in the ancient Greek games. Picking him up for a power slam. Swing and a miss. Nathan Bradley kicking him to the grill, and there he goes again. Look at that. Look at the height. Look at the height. Oh my Lord. Do you think the new reality wrestling television champion is coming with something to prove? I think so. Measuring him up. Oh, he's going to go for that blockbuster. Nathan Bradley kind of jumping out of it, and a drop kick to the middle of the back, only sending Edge Stone down to one knee. Oh, here we go. Nathan Bradley, though, big enziguri, still not knocking the television champion off his feet. And a sleeper from Nathan Bradley. This is great strategy from the supreme underdog in this contest. I really like the moxie of him. However, moxie doesn't win you matches. Oh no, Edge Stone catching him. Oh my goodness, 1, 2. Nathan Bradley kicking out of that spinning power bomb from Edge Stone, and I don't know if self-preservation is on the challenger's mind. Look at that. Beautiful. From Edge Stone. Cover. 1, 2, 3. And still, the reality wrestling television champion, Edge Stone. Confidence through the roof. Ability through the roof. And now he's got the gold to back it up. Perhaps the 2020 Star of the Year. His name is Edge Stone.
For over 13 years, the King of Solar Screens has been an industry leader, and we proudly use 100% American-made products. Home of the $55 any size, any color solar screen.
Well, what about arches?
$55.
What about circles?
$55.
What about rectangles?
$55.
Any size, any color, installed free. The King of Solar Screens, on time, every time.
Now can you dig that, sucker?
And here we go, Tommy the Brute Bolton has had an up and down career here in reality of wrestling, but the one thing that has always remained high is his heart and his spirit. He is an eternal optimist who really feels this is his true calling and that one day he will be the reality of wrestling champion. And it is that confidence within himself that could very well get him there someday. Tommy the Brute Bolton back in the World Gym Arena. You gotta love somebody's passion, somebody's heart, somebody's belief in themselves. It's gonna get you everywhere in life. And Tommy the Brute Bolton is going to believe he's gonna get that W here inside the Booker T World Gym Arena. But he has quite the challenge ahead of him. For the first time in the house that Booker T built, Daniel Miller walking inside the hallowed halls of Texas City's house of professional wrestling. And these two men facing off, our senior referee Isaac Bouillon is here, checking if both men are ready, and there's the bell, and automatically into a collar and elbow tie-up. Daniel Miller trying to outpower the Brute, and the Brute showing some brute force back at him, as these two still tangled up in a collar and elbow, now back into the center of the ring. Now their man giving way. And look at that. Their strength almost canceling each other out, going right back to it. And now Daniel Miller with a side headlock. Oh! Big shoulder block from the Haas. The Brute, Tommy Bolton. This is a home game for him. He's got to feel more confident against a debuting star in a ring that he has wrestled so many times in. And there's a shoulder block of his own. And the Brute hulking up on Daniel Miller. I could watch these two go at it all night long. This has shades of Robbie Lawler and Roy McDonald from the UFC. Just two guys who don't want to play any games. They don't want to dance. All they want to do is fight. And look at that. Great job by Tommy Bolton. Oh, and another one. You might hear his name and think he plays smooth jazz, but he likes to throw a couple fists and a forearm to the face of Daniel Miller. Oh, man. Tommy Bolton dropping to one knee and sending the molars of Daniel Miller to the parking lot here where we're going to have our next drive-in show. Little low there from the debuting Daniel Miller. And hold on, looking for a big suplex, and he gets it. Back suplex from Daniel Miller. Cover one. Kick out after one from Tommy Bolton. Not going to go down that easy. Daniel Miller finding that out.
Shut up! Hey, what? Want a minor corner?
Cover here now. One. Tommy Bolton kind of waving it off there. Look at the strength there of Daniel Miller. Trying to wear down the Brute, wearing down himself though too. Look at that. Daniel Miller was so slow to get to that count. Tommy Bolton was able to get his shoulder up before the referee even counted one. And that's the thing with these bigger athletes, guys on the bigger size of things, who may be over that 205-pound mark. When they exert this much energy so early on in the contest, you see them start to wear, and I think we're seeing a little bit of that from both competitors, a little bit more though from Daniel Miller right now. And he's trying to get that headlock cinched in to slow Tommy down and maybe get a little oxygen back to his own muscles. The Brute battling back and a big clubbing blow to the middle of the back, but now Tommy Bolton found a second wind of energy. Wait, did he just poke him in the eye? I think he poked him in the eye and then found some agility in those boots of his, and the Brute going all the way up top to nail Daniel Miller right on the chin. Oh! Body avalanche. Some back elbows, rights and lefts. And now, Tommy Bolton, whoa, springboard to the outside. What is he thinking about doing? Look at the look in his eyes. Oh my goodness, springboard clothesline from the top rope, the Brute. 1, 2, 3, oh no, 2.5. 2.5. And Tommy Bolton was so close to racking up a win here in the World Gym Arena in 2020. And there comes the strap, brother. Tommy Bolton, ready to go. All right, no. Daniel Miller, fireman's carry position. Tommy Bolton battling it out. Oh, look at that, beautiful. From the Brute cover, 1, 2, 3. Tommy the Brute Bolton with the W here on Reality of Wrestling. That is the Tommy Bolton we need to see every single time he enters that squared circle. If he continues that, championship aspirations may become championship reality for the Brute.
For over 13 years, the King of Solar Screens has been an industry leader, and we proudly use 100% American-made products. Trust the King with your castle. You'll be glad you did.
Now I know you can dig that.
There you have it, Houston.
And here's our main event tonight on the Reality of Wrestling. And there's the brand new Reality of Wrestling Texas champion. There is Will Allday. We saw Will Allday at our Reality of Wrestling Swing Vote special out there, a drive-up event like no other, and Will Allday battled, perhaps, a face on the Mount Rushmore of Reality of Wrestling, Gino Medina, the former 3-time Reality of Wrestling champion. He battled him for that vacant Texas championship. Will Allday got the dub. He got the 3 count. Thanks in part to our special referee of that match, the former and first Texas champion, Rex Andrews. An interesting exchange between he and Will Allday after the match. Nevertheless, Will Allday has captured his 2nd championship in his young yet illustrious Reality of Wrestling career. This man is a Award winner. He is a former Reality Wrestling television champion and now the current Texas champion. He's going up against Jay Alexander from the Renegades of Wrestling. And we have not seen a lot inside the ring of Jay Alexander, but we have seen a lot outside the ring, making his presence felt on many of occasions. And boy, is this man jacked, baby. He looks great. But how can he go? How will he show out? Will he be able to perform at the level of somebody like Will Allday? The Renegades of Wrestling have been a thorn in the side of this company, would be an understatement. Since late December, these men have made their mark, and they've only grown in size. The de facto leader of the Renegades of Wrestling, Warren Johnson, really set their trajectory upward whenever he turned on his former brother in arms, Zach Mason, whenever he turned on G.I. Bro, whenever he turned on the then Reality Wrestling champion Brian Keith in that big 4-on-4 tag team match in February that saw the return to the ring of this company's founder, Booker T. And since then, the Renegades have continued to make their presence felt in all divisions here in Reality of Wrestling. Jay Alexander, young in his wrestling career, but boy, is the sky the limit for this kid. And look at the strength of him. His size and stature almost would remind you of the real Polish hammer Ivan Putski. Man who had a hand in training the man who trained him, Booker T. Will Allday, though, has had to combat a strength advantage. He has had to combat size advantage. He's had to combat agility advantage. And Will Allday always finds a way. He sees that light. He's like Jeff Goldblum from Jurassic Park, where he said life finds a way. Will finds a way to get that W almost every single time. And if he doesn't get the win, he gives everything that he has. He really is like the Russell Westbrook of the Reality of Wrestling. Oh, look at that, beautiful pinpoint accuracy. 8-ball corner pocket for Will Allday. Back elbow there. You see only one Renegade of Wrestling on the outside. That's interesting to me. If the numbers game normally stacked in greater favor of the Renegades. And now, Jay Alexander rolling to the outside. The new Reality Wrestling Texas champion standing tall. Have to be aware of, there it is right there. Oh. And look at that, the distraction that Jay Alexander needed. The distraction that he needed to get back into this thing. Sidewalk slam, huge sidewalk slam, cover 1, 2, 1 count. This is our main event this week on the Reality of Wrestling. If you are watching this on the Reality of Wrestling YouTube channel, please hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe, do all the things that you need to do. Leave a comment, let us know what you think of the action here this evening. We appreciate every single individual. Your views are what helps this company continue to produce the next crop of talent that you will see on the national and international stages. Jay Alexander, very impressive here in his main event Reality of Wrestling debut. Looking very polished. Oh, big kick there from Jay Alexander. And you can tell that a main event style or a main event spot requires a different amount of energy, especially when you're in there against a guy like Will Allday. Oh! Hold on, cover. 1. Kick out after 2 there. It requires more than any other match. And really, I say the main event spot will get that out of guys. But Will Allday will wear you out. That is part of what's made him so special. I don't know if there's anybody in this company's history who has a battery in their back like that man right there. And speaking of that, he had his back turned and goes back first to the outside right here in front of the announce table. The Renegades are going to blame that on Will's pure inertia. However, lowering that top rope again, finding a way to keep Jay Alexander in this match. Jay Alexander is all over Will Allday. Look at that. Will Allday, great reversal. Elevated knee there. Gonna go for its twin, but Jay Alexander knocking Will Allday inside out. Will Allday back up to a vertical base here, and another lariat clothesline from Jay Alexander. Not going for a cover there. Interesting. After knocking down the champion back-to-back times, you would think he'd want to capitalize on that. But maybe he's measuring him up for something to finish the job. And there it is, though. That is what I'm talking about. When you delay, you get a couple of super kicks. Flying forearm from one side of the ring to the other from the Texas champion, the brand new Texas champion. Going for another thing right there. Looked like he was going to go for a flying knee. Just clotheslines Jay Alexander over the top rope, and here it comes. Classic Will Allday. Oh my goodness, over the top rope, a senton, knocking both Renegades out. And what is it? He's gonna go for a moonsault right here. Will Allday, picture perfect no-look moonsault from the Texas champion. And boy, has Will Allday ever looked better than he does right now. And there it is. Is he gonna hit him with that knee? That all day, all night. It's won him that championship. There it is, all day, all night. Cover, 1, 2, and a through. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. That was a 3 count. That looked like a 3 count to me. Referee Isaac Bouillon arguing with the Renegades on the outside. And that is how we're going to see an end to our main event. They weren't able to take the loss, but Will Allday nevertheless gets the victory by disqualification, not the way that he wanted to win in the main event. Will Allday, as he comes out here and puts on a hell of a show, but bigger than that, he wants to get a win in the books, and not by this way. You see the frustration on the face of the champion. I have a feeling that Jay Alexander and the Renegades of Wrestling have what is coming to them, and they're gonna have to live with it all damn day.